with. But how did you feel about the pressure that the BAFTA brought? Did you feel it was an opportunity and a privilege, or did you feel, oh, I have to keep the bar at a certain level from here on in?
It's a really interesting question. It's a really astute question. I remember being on a set in New York, and it was a very high budget project. And I was waiting, as were all of the crew, my cinematographer, the lighting guy, all the heads of department, were waiting for this very small thing. It was a piece of perspex that needed to move very slightly. We were waiting for the props guys, and they were brilliant and incredibly fast. But nonetheless, we were waiting. And I knew exactly what I wanted to do, so there was no question but that we were ready, and we were all standing on our tiptoes, ready to go, waiting. So, just for the fun of it, I calculated how much per minute we were spending. And it was something really, I can't remember now what it was, but it was something terrifyingly large per minute. And I thought about that, and I thought, how interesting that, of course, you have to take that responsibility. If you're dealing with a budget of over $100 million, of course you have to take that very seriously, and you take your responsibility very seriously, and you take the creative decisions that you make very seriously. But it's also really important not to take yourself too seriously. It's really important to understand that your job is to produce the same level of commitment and work and emotional truthfulness and insight and reflection as you have done all through your life. There is nothing different about this. The only thing that's different is you get a better cup of coffee and a nicer chair. But it's exactly the same as sitting and doing the Leaving Cert. It's exactly the same as sitting and doing your finals. It's exactly the same as the first project you ever did. And I think there are a couple of things that are worth bearing in mind in that moment. One is you're still the same person. The idea that you're more high-flown or more admired, that's all nonsense. You're still you. You're still rooted in the same things that you've always been rooted in. You're still curious. You still have learning to do, which is really critical. You've got to be open to the fact that at any given moment you could be wrong. And stay focused. Stay in the moment. Stay doing what you feel to be truthful and right. And I think the notion of being celebrated, or indeed being denigrated, I think you can't really get too involved in that, because they're both kind of illusory. You're on a learning curve all the time. I think if you're not on a learning curve, then you're in trouble.